All right, good afternoon, folks. Welcome on back here this Wednesday afternoon, April 12th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Should be good to go across social media now, at least. I think that we had a small issue at first live this morning, but good to go across the board there. Of course, good to go as always inside our live trading room. Great to see Phil and Mario rejoining us here. Ron and Leda, good afternoon to them as always. So, without further ado, folks, market is taking a dip right now, like live as we're talking. So what's happening here? Is there any like Fed minutes meeting that like concluded before? Obviously, the CPI report came out early this morning, but we're talking live right now, folks. Like just right at 2:30, smack right now, market just pulled back. So yeah, it looks like the smaller Fed meeting happened, the FOMC minutes meeting. And you get these things happening like pretty much every like few weeks or so, but this is one of the smaller ones, so not one of the larger ones. But with that said, a couple headlines came out just at 2 o'clock, not even as much now. So it's pretty interesting to see more of a delayed reaction more than anything here at 2:30. I'll have my Benzinga up just in case if there's anything else out that came out just here. But nevertheless, GFAI not certainly or certainly not listening right now to the market. Still pushing up right now heading into the afternoon. Just made big pop as soon as the market opened up this morning. So, this was a big focus of ours, at least after the market opened. I wanted to put more of a focus on the stocks that we already had on the morning watch list. So we did really well on stocks like AI and CELZ and Lucy and HTCR and CYTO is actually one of the best ones that we had. So this was actually right out the gate one of the better trades. But hey, it was more of a level 4 or 5 stock, even heading into the close today. Looks like it's still pushing up in terms of the chart, higher lows, but look at the spread. Look at how thin or illiquid the order book is right now. So that's what makes it a very dangerous to trade. Not only that, but obviously just the move that it made today, plus just the last week. It's very well extended to see a stock go from like $5, $6 back from mid of last week, basically a full week plus later to today, and it's at like $27, $28. So, if you're afraid of trading this stock, you have every right to be. I would rather you follow something else in that case, something that you could trade more shares of, something that you're a lot more confident to trade. So, hey, that's up to you. We're all adults here, right? So, if you're a new trader out here looking at the shiny object in the room, I can't stop you from trying to trade this, but if you were more of a level 4 or 5 trader already here and have proven to be, a very skilled trader consistently here with CTU, well, hey, you know who you are, right? You don't need me to tell you that. So, that's where I say you know exactly who you are if you should be trading the stock. I'll put this on our list for those folks, but either way, we'll see if there's anything else that's even easier, and not just in terms of the trend. Again, nice trend, but in terms of just following the big money. All right, still got my Benzinga up here. Market is dipping here a little bit. Pretty interesting to see live right now. Let's go from top to bottom here. Recap a couple of the others that we ended up doing really well on. We did really well on CELZ, and not doing as well on it right now, meaning we haven't really followed it since. So at this point right now, certainly looking like it's just going to continue to fill the gap, but more from the pre-market and then more from after the market opened up. The stock actually had a really good bounce play to it. It shocked me. I really didn't think it was going to make as good of a bounce at the time off of 109. And I took the entry. It shocked me, but still just to take the entry, set a tight stop. I was going to expect to take like a -1 or -2 at the time, and it just kind of held higher lows, pushed up a bit towards 117, 118. Not the biggest and best trade, but it worked out. I'm going to show level 4 here and tell you what I was looking at the time. Had big iceberg order on the bid at 92 cents. That was early in pre-market. So really at this time, I was expecting it to pull back pretty quickly. But suddenly we ended up seeing a 122,000 share print getting filled on the bid. And it just laid over that price throughout the duration of the morning here. That's what led to the bounce. Well, the bounce before the pullback. So actually, to tell you that just skinny on this. We ended up getting out on this trade. I know John get out like right around 125, 124. I closed out right under the opening print. I was not playing with fire, especially with how long it took for this to even move off this level. So I ended up getting out at 128, penny under the opening print, with hopes of trying to see this hold a higher low, with hopes. And then obviously it crashed right away after. So, kind of posting a couple funny emojis inside the chat board there. But, hey, I wasn't expecting to have this collapse. It's just that, hey, we were trying to get out and then maybe re-enter. So once this crashed and then just got halted, that's when it's pretty much game over. I took a couple tiny losses off of a dollar, like a break even and a small loss. And then from there, it just flattened out further, then broke down a lot more. So obviously at this point, it's like catching the falling knife here more than anything. So you're not trying to long this trade at this stage. It's as simple as that. If you could short this stock, which I can't, I don't think anyone really can, but God forbid if you can get the shares to short, then clearly that could have been a really good trade. Might still offer you a little bit more to work with going into the close, but right now we'll see what else is out there. Tests kind of looking like the other one. What was it? The TRTN trade buyout, right? Pretty much the same deal. GFAI already. We talked about this one so far. And we'll keep it going here, folks. HTCR, more from pre-market from like after 7 o'clock, led to a little bounce at first. But again, same deal with this as we just saw earlier on the CELZ. Complete gap fill here now at this stage. CYTO, I mean, obviously a bit of a wonky chart here as well, but this actually had a really strong bounce just as soon as the market opened up. So it was trending down leading into the open. It was definitely filling the gap early in pre-market. Then thankfully after the open, it bottomed out and then broke back up. Slingshot, so to say. This was one of the better trades that we ended up actually catching throughout the morning audio that we ended up doing. So a couple quick shout outs on this trade, actually, if I could. Let me just check really quick. Just checking in on the chat right now. Manuel got like 30 cents on this trade. Brian got 29 cents. Kathleen in from 206. She got 44 cents on it. That was all from earlier today. I know a few more of us, like John and myself, are on AMC, but just in terms of the CYTO, nice little move up here, right? One of the better trades that we ended up catching across the day. Once the volume peaks and dies off, though, we often say this here, so does the stock. Hey, CYTO, we're not really too familiar with. It looks like prior to today, stock was like trading barely over 1 million shares here these days. Then before that, we have no business with the stock mainly. So, no surprise it came all the way back down and, obviously flattened out here at this point. All right, so let's keep it going here, folks. And my apologies, slightly under the weather. I don't really know what hit me, like kind of late morning, early afternoon, but like got the life sucked out of me, it feels like. So obviously not on camera for that, but try and go through this meeting here pretty quickly. FRGT ended up making more of a steady move up off the lows, but it's like kind of chugging on up. It's making that kind of like slower grind. Not exactly my cup of tea right there, but it's still holding strong near the highs here going into the afternoon. If we can get a re-break over 3, then that could definitely lead to a nice higher high. So hopefully we get that here. For right now, I'll put this back on our list. HILS, not much happening there. Tightens the buyout. BFRG, we called bottom on this really nicely heading into the early to mid afternoon. But the issue on this stock, this is what made it dangerous. I reckon not many ended up taking this call out because of how illiquid the order book was. I realized that afterwards, but otherwise, though, this just had a pretty interesting level I sniped. It was just interesting right off 530 IPO open price, ended up bottoming out there as support initially, holding a higher low now. I just it led to a nice little squeeze to begin, but at this point now, it's making lower highs. Just the order book looks a little skimpy, so I'm not fully committed to it just yet. This was the AI trade, Bullfrog AI. We have the other one on there, GFAI, right? Yeah, we'll come back to this at the end, though. I'll put this on our side list. Yeah, GNS here, former runner for us, just back like a year ago, maybe 6 months ago, perhaps you could say, and a little run up once again today for that one, but we'll pass here. All right, so market is plunging. Could be finding some stocks landing its way on the loser's side right now. My scanner here. So let's see if there's anything looking just as good from losers list right now. CUTR dropped off earlier this morning. Obviously dead right now, but could have been a nice short. CRUS too expensive. Wow, American Airlines got crushed, didn't it? I saw this drop off early in pre-market. Then I really turned my head away from it. Just we had plenty of other stocks on the way up that were looking pretty good. But nevertheless, this could have been a really good short. It's at the lows right now. Could be more for the taking if the markets tend to, whether they break lower or not, continue to show weakness. So AAL, yeah, I'll put on our main watch list for right now. I think this could be earnings related. So let me just double check on that. If you're familiar with this trade, you may already know. So let me just double check here for us. AAL expects Q1 adjusted EPS. Yep, they ended up issuing preliminary results, and it was below analyst expectations. All right, so it broke below 13 just recently here, re-breaking below 13. So this could be pretty easily on the way down. Look for 1290 to be a backup support level to 13 there. Then from there, like really every 10 cents could be a design support. 1280 after that, 84K on the bid. You got Boyle, ETF, shortable, I guess, but we'll pass on it. Peloton from this morning. I didn't really see this until the later part of the morning here, so caught this one a little late personally, but Peloton dropped off pretty nicely here today and just kind of flat though for the afternoon. Fausto's potential swing trade on space. I got to check in with him personally, just as far as if he's still in this or if he ended up jumping in from early this week. But it's still kind of back towards his support level. He was following the dip point from the end of last year, roughly around that 324, 325. So obviously having a down day today, down over 8% right now, but still technically it's holding over support. You'd need to see it hold a higher low at minimum, though, as far as that potential swing trade. As a day trade, no business with the stock today. Just too slow normally. All right, so there's definitely more that's down percentage wise. Like number 45, number 50 is like around 7, 8%. So I'm going to take a quick look again on Benzinga Pro. Let me just bring up the scanner here that I did earlier today. Uh, Firm. I saw a pop up there just a moment ago. AFRM, Beyond Meat, maybe a couple other stocks like Delta Airlines, UAL. Obviously, all airlines moving well together. Um, but if American's off the news, that's the one I'd rather follow. Delta's not looking too great there. United could be going with American. We'll follow AAL if anything there. No need to write them all down. TGTX, what goes up does come back down, and this is shortable. It's at the lows. Big support off 20 potentially. Should this break lower for a quick like 25-cent short? I know that could be more of a scalp in relation to the overall move that it made today, but hey, there could be even more after that. But look for 20 to be a major support level on this trade. You know what? I'll slip this on our list. It's tradable, and for right now, we'll see if it ends up moving lower. Affirm AFRM down over 3%. It's trotting towards the lows, right? Don't really feel a great need to put this one on there. So you know what, folks, we're gonna wrap up for right now. We got 4 stocks to work with, then we'll check in with the BFRG I said here, just kind of on the side list here to wrap up. It's kind of hanging in there, hasn't totally dumped off yet. I just wish the order book was a lot more liquid, a lot more filled in, spread tighter. Hopefully that will be the case coming into the afternoon. All right, checking YouTube, checking the Cyber Group right now, just any of our streams or our live trading room, seeing if there's any other call outs that our students or members here have. It's a choppy market, says John. Yeah, I mean, well, especially this drop off now, perhaps we'll see further conviction on the way down. We'll see. All right, folks, we're going to wrap up for right now. So, hey, not a bad list, actually, for what it's worth. We got a couple good stocks at the highs right now, like the GFAI and FRGT. A couple stocks on the way down, like AAL and TGTX. So, really no complaints so far. And like I'd said, I wouldn't really look to stray away from this watch list unless if there is something that is making such an obvious move up or down that that we would have put it on our watch list instantaneously. So, if it's something that simple to say, oh, there we go, then call it out. Then call it out at that point, folks, right? But otherwise, start and stick with this list, see what we can work with here heading into the market close. Rich will be on from 3 to 4 o'clock. But for any of our members on social media, if you're interested in just joining our live trading room, go right down to the link on the green banner below of the stream right there to get yourself set up, to get yourself started. If you have any questions prior to joining us, though, feel free to shoot me a quick email, josh@c2trading.com. All right, folks, but enjoy the rest of the day. And again, I'll catch back with everyone, if not later on this afternoon in the chat, then otherwise come tomorrow morning. I appreciate that, Sam, and Lade and all of us just here otherwise. Take care.